Hi guys. Today I want us to look at, sex education in the contemporary society we are in now. We're dealing with learners who already know what you think they don't know. And it's so sad if, they find themselves in situations that could land them in trouble, even jail time, because of ignorance. And term it as ignorance. It's sad that learners engage, in sexual activities. Perhaps they've gone out to, have functions, but they find themselves, because due to the peer pressure within them at that particular space they are in, you know, they engage in activities, the sexual activities with their counterparts of the other gender. And when we're dealing with, in this case, high school, we have students who, are above the age of 18. And if you find engaging in sex with a learner, even if it's your fellow learner, but the girl at that particular time is young, it could land in trouble, because at 18 you're being seen as an adult. At 18 you are man enough to start handling, your decisions, and such, you know acts of violation, I'd say, will definitely affect the boys more than the girls in this situation, because as a boy and you're older, you're being viewed as somebody who can think for himself, do things on his own. You're considered an adult. And it's just sad that, yes, at that particular space, you're a student, but for you, you're older. And, and so I we do often talk of, sex education, but I think it is reaching a point that learners must start, I don't know, they just have to be told to start carrying, you know, the protective measures to use to just protect themselves from such situations. It's sad if we lose learners because of ignorance, because of peer pressure on some issues that could have been avoided. And I just feel that the part of sex education should not only be left to the teachers. In the African traditional setting, I don't think, apart from, parents who are modernized, but just in the traditional African setting, you won't find your parents sitting you down and starting to talk to you about sex. And I feel more can be done. So, like I've said, I feel like more can be done. So this sex education should not only be left to the teachers. I wish that parents would sit their children down, talk them, tell them this is how this works. If this happens, do one, two, three. Because if it comes from, only the teachers, I feel most of the learners won't take this seriously. And they also have to be taught of the implications that come with it. If you have a learner who is older, let them know that if they do one, two, three, they will face one, two, three jail term, or they will be convicted because they're older. Plus, it's sad. These things happen with teenagers engaging in the sexual acts, and it's sad when you find a learner getting infected with an STI. And so it makes you begin to start worrying. You've just found one. Meaning, amongst themselves, things have been happening within the groups they're in, but they're not talking. So you now have to start going to, either take them all for testing, and also their partners that they were engaging with have to be tested. And it's sad that they are young, they're learners, and they have futures ahead. So I want to advocate, what I want to advocate for is the education, making sex education aware early enough in learners. And parents should also help teachers do this task. It's not a task that only one party will be able to do. everything should not be left for the teacher. It it has to be something that is worked upon by, you know, two individual groups to help this person. Because in school, the parents of the learner is the teacher. At home, they have their own parents. Now, if these two parties don't come together, then the learner will not be able to be helped. This is to help us avoid, contraction of STIs and facing unnecessary jail time for the learner. So, for me, I think my stand on this is that sexual education should just be introduced as a study on its own, and learners are taught on 1 to 3 to do. Yes, it's being taught right now, but it's not with the other subjects that are being taught. It's just taught maybe as a lesson to learners are just being let know, but it's not taught as an actual study. So for me, I think this is a teaching that should start very, very early for these people so that they don't, I don't know, but it should just be a study on its own, a unit on its own. We shouldn't wait up to the university level to start teaching learners these things. It should start very early. You'll be surprised at how the children actually grow fast and they actually understand.